So this is one of the cringiest articles I've ever read. It's called "I Fired One of My Programmers 15 Days After Hiring Them." And the little caption is, "Just don't lie too much on your resume." And it's by this dude who's probably, I don't know, same age as me. "Firing employees is one of the hardest jobs I've faced as a CEO. We are only a company of 20 to 25 people, and I have personal relationships with almost all of the employees, making firing any of them even harder. From my experience with interviewing 300 plus candidates, I've noticed that about 50 to 60% of interviewees lie on their resumes. Some lies are minor. I overlook most of them, though I'm not sure if that's okay or not." Shouldn't you? I mean, it's your company, right? You can. I even Googled the topic and found an interesting fact. A survey from Checkster indicated that 78% of job seekers lie during their hiring process. It's because honesty isn't rewarded. When you're honest, when you're applying to a job, you're just put into the trash can and you never get the time of day. So you lie on your resume to get to the interview where you're honest about what you can actually do. What you have to realize here is that your resume is not a ticket to the job. Your resume is a ticket to the interview. And then you're honest and you say, you explain your job gap, or you tell them that you have a job gap, because if you're honest about your job gap and say, "Hey, I got laid off and I haven't been able to find work," you know what they're going to think about you? They're going to think that's because you suck and that's your problem because you can't find a job, and no one wants to hire you because something's wrong with you. There's no way that you haven't been able to find a job in 6 months. And so you are not rewarded for being honest when it comes to applying to jobs. If a job says, "We want 5 years experience," but you know what they want only requires 1 year, or you have the ability to do it and you apply anyway, technically you lied. But if you think that you can do the job regardless of what they require, you're lying, but you can do the job, which is what really matters at the end of the day. I will discuss the types of lies a candidate normally includes in their resume later in this article. Right now, let's talk about the programmer in question. I like how this dude's just roasting the dude he fired on this Medium article. What he lied about: "I don't conduct technical interviews directly. I was also a programmer and I loved programming. So why aren't you the one doing the interviewing? But since I have to do so much managerial work, I had to sacrifice this wonderful job." The programmer lied about his experience and work. He said he was an entrepreneur. That was true. However, I think the projects and references he showed weren't his own work. How he passed our test: he was, of course, a good programmer. He could easily fit in any junior backend developer post, but we were looking for a senior backend developer. Our hiring consists of 3 steps. First, we shortlist 10 candidates for each position. Then we make them take a short test. It normally takes 10 to 20 minutes. After this step, we normally cut half of them out. So it sounds to me like your hiring process is busted and you just don't know how to interview people. People can lie on their resume all the time. Doesn't mean you hire them. You got to test them. You got to check their abilities. And this isn't just exclusive to programming. Like, almost every job is going to bring you in. They're going to give you some sort of test to see if you can actually do the job, and then they make that decision. Your code test was probably unrelated to the job, and you passed the code test, and then you couldn't do the job. Typically, I conduct the final interview besides their technical skill. I also need to see how passionate they are or whether they will fit our work culture. In the final step, we had 2 excellent developers. In the test, one scored better than this programmer I hired. I don't know how exactly he passed the test. My best guess is, as the test was held online, he took outside help because there was no way someone could pass the test but can't do basic tasks. You don't just give leet code problems that can be copied and pasted. You have to check for problem solving. This is the fundamental issue when it comes to tech these days. People are looking for canned, memorized answers. They're not looking for people who can solve problems. If they give you something and say, "Do you know this?" Well, I mean, no, but I'm going to look it up just like I would do at the job. I think that's fair, but that's not what they want. So they give you these canned answers, and the people that happen to know these memorized answers put them down, and they're seen as the best candidate. So your way of testing the person here is flawed. Give them a test, ask them about their test, tell them to walk you through the test, make them explain what they did and why they did it, ask them questions about it. Don't just say, can you do this, and then yes or no. All right, you're hired. That's dumb. Your hiring process is dumb. He says, "I know everyone has passion, but to be successful, you have to climb up the ladder one step at a time." I don't know if you've seen my latest video about how climbing the corporate ladder is a joke, but maybe you should go watch that. What's your name? Why I hired him. When he passed the second step, I had an online interview with him. This step was straightforward. I just wanted to see if the candidate was a good fit for our startup. Though he was behind one candidate in the second step, I hired him because I thought he would do better in our startup. Normally, I consider 3 factors when choosing a candidate. Number 1, passion. People work for money, not for passion, not for loyalty. Okay, so make that number 1 People work for compensation, and hopefully something is relatively interesting at your company. Number 2, I hire for skill. And number 3, I hire for company culture. I mean, I get that. You don't want to work with people that you don't like all day. So he scored well. In the second step, he got the second highest score on our test, so I thought he was skilled. Again, this is your problem. Like, you can't just look at test results and judge someone's ability to be able to perform a job or not. There were many, many jobs that I applied to that gave me totally outrageous, unrelated code tests to what the job was. Job wanted a React developer, and it was for O'Reilly Auto Parts, and they gave me an interview that made me do Java and C++. And I had to share my screen with the HR lady, and I had to be on the phone with her so that she could check if I was typing on another computer or not. So obviously I should have just muted and then unmuted and looked up on my laptop, and that's what I did. And then she heard me typing on the keyboard, and she's like, "Sir, you're cheating." And I was like, "Well, this test is dumb." And then we hung up, and I didn't get hired at O'Reilly Auto Parts. But there have been a lot of code tests that I've got that are completely unrelated to the job and your day-to-day tasks at that job. And it sounds like that's what you've done here, on top of not actually checking to see if he knew what he had passed. I have a weak spot for entrepreneurs. He was an entrepreneur, and he was very passionate about working in another startup to gain experience. I mean, think about this for a second. If he's an entrepreneur, why does he need to work for you? Shouldn't that be a red flag? Like, that's why you never put that you're the CEO or you're the owner of a company when you're applying to another company, because the first thing that they're going to think is, if you're a business owner, why do you need to work for my business? And then number 2, if you're working for my business and I know you have your own business, as a business owner, I know that you're probably going to prioritize your business over mine, which means I'm going to get subpar work. This programmer already worked and owned a startup, so I choose him over the other guy. If this programmer already worked and owned another startup and then he needs to come to you, shouldn't, again, that be a red flag that he didn't work out at his own company? So why I fired him? The problem started from day 1, but the CTO cut him some slack. As he was new, we thought he would need some time to catch up with the project. After 3 days, our CTO told me that something was not right about him. He could not do simple tasks. He did not understand the basics of our project. Even our junior programmer could do it easily. So we decided to give him more time. After 10 days, he was assigned a simple task with some junior developer. He couldn't guide them and was getting uncomfortable in the office. Junior programmers also complained about him to our CTO. Bunch of snitches. Then we started to realize he lied on his resume. We didn't tell him this, but I think he understood. Then after 15 days, I called him into my office and told him we had to let him go for some reason. So you didn't even tell him? You just made up some reason? You're admitting that you just made up some reason? I sensed that he actually felt relieved. Lying on your resume is not the reason that he got fired. The reason that he got fired is because your interview process sucks. Your hiring process sucks. You didn't accurately and correctly vet your candidates. I felt bad for him and tried to help him. Though we lied and we could prove it easily, we didn't, because it was part of our fault in the hiring process and we didn't want to disrespect him. It was still hard for me to fire him. I tried to help him as much as possible. I offered him a junior developer position, but it was not easy for him for self-respect. I understood that. Lying on your resume can backfire. It can backfire anytime. More importantly, it will ruin your reputation. No, it won't. Your reputation is if you're getting the job done and your output shows that you're getting results. If your employers find out later you can be fired, why not improve your skills and apply later? So here's the problem. You can have the greatest skills in the world and you can be honest on your resume. If they want 10 years experience because who wrote the job post doesn't know what they're doing, and you don't put that you have 10 years experience, but you know that you can do the job, you're not going to get interviewed. You're not going to get brought in. And so you lie and say, yes, I do have 10 years. And then you prove to them in the interview that you can do the test and you get hired. So that's the difference, right? Honesty is not rewarded. Here's some common lies programmers tell on their resume. Experience, the number of years of experience. Honestly, the employer won't mind so much if the numbers are close. No, you're dumb. Abrar, whatever your name is, you're dumb. Listen here. Let's have a conversation about this for a second. There are people that have 10 years experience and there are people that have 1 year experience 10 times. The amount of time somebody has done something does not always correlate if they are good at what they do. I'm sure we all know someone that has been at the job for a long time but still has no idea what they're doing. But technically, that guy can put that he has lots of years of experience on his resume. So years of experience are not a good indicator of output, productivity, someone's current skill level. Lying about previous jobs, why they left previous jobs. I mean, you shouldn't ask why they left. Honestly, they're going to lie to you about it and everyone's going to say, well, I wanted more responsibility, or I'm looking for a different path. No one's going to say, I hated my boss. No one's going to say, I was underpaid. No one is going to be honest and say the reason that they left. At some point, they were unhappy and they decided to move on to something that more accurately aligned with what they wanted. So stop trying to squeeze that out, right? Like, that's not a fair question. Many candidates lie on this one. They think that if they tell the truth, the interviewer won't select them. Because it's true. You won't. If you say, well, we didn't get along, well, they're going to think that you're the problem. Most candidates leave their previous jobs for a better one. We as employers know that. We won't judge you for chasing better opportunities. Rather, we appreciate honesty, but don't criticize previous jobs too much, even if you had a bad experience there. So then stop asking us to be honest. The candidates who got fired rarely say this in the interview, and that's normal. However, you can be honest here too. This might give you an extra edge. It won't. Ignore this. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. References. The work references programmers give on their resumes are sometimes false. My suggestion is not to copy others' work and claim it as yours. It can get you fired. I mean, that's not what references are. You're talking about plagiarism. References are people that you can call and verify information about this employee or person or whoever it is. And honestly, why would I give you the reference to my last boss, which I know hated my guts? I'm not going to let you call him at some unknown time to me and have a conversation behind my back when who knows? Technically, he can't say that I was a piece of shit employee, but I'm not going to be there for that conversation. And you'll never tell me if he said that. So, I mean, I'm probably not going to give you accurate references. Just deal with it. I'm going to give you my coworker that I was buddies with at the last job. You can call him. Be honest from the interview to every day at work. Honesty is something that will give you inner peace. I mean, it might give you inner peace, but it's not going to give you a job. Let's just be real here. Like, honesty in the corporate world is not rewarded as much as you would like to think it is with gumdrops and rainbows. And again, here goes Josh being a realist. Stop saying I'm a pessimist and negative. I'm just being real. I was like, congratulations if you were honest and you got a great job and you love your boss and your work-life balance and your salary. But for 95% of us out here in the world, we gotta do what we gotta do to get a job, keep our families fed. Don't just be a programmer. Be a good employee. Nah, I mean, do as much work as you need to keep your boss happy and make it look like you're going above and beyond without going above and beyond, and then just collect paychecks and always be on the lookout for something better. Here's something that's so stupid. Work like you own the company, but you don't own the company, so why would you work like you own it? You're not getting paid like you own it, so why am I going to work like I own it? This is one of the dumbest things about that. Like, this is why hard work at a company that you don't own doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, because you don't control if you're going to get rewarded for it. When you work with your heart and soul, your company will take care of you too. That's not true. I think all of us know that's not true. I'm sure many of us have done late nights, long hours, weekends, sacrificed a lot, and then the company says, thanks for being part of the family, but unfortunately, we need to downsize and restructure our organization. Best of luck. We will be with you in your search for a new job or some BS. So that's not true. What does that even mean, by the way? Work with your heart and soul. Define that into quantifiable metrics. Does that mean staying later? Does that mean doing everything that I'm asked to do? What does work with your heart and soul? Miss me with that cringe garbage. But if you think you're not enjoying working in the company, make a change. If you love your job but are not happy in your current workplace, the problem might not be yours. Yeah, it's probably you, Abrar. And you don't have to start your career as a senior programmer or even a junior programmer. If you don't have confidence in your skill, you can start as an intern. See, look, he's giving more bad advice. Skip being an intern, go straight to being a junior dev, okay? The difference between internship and junior developer is the pay and how long you stay, because interns are part-time, and usually you do them while you're at school. But you both have no idea what you're doing. Essentially, you're both going to be trained specifically on company culture, company handbook, company policy, where the code base is, how it works, passwords, etc., etc. You both have to get up to speed. You both have no idea what you're doing. Ignore. Just skip internships. It's just a title to pay you less money. Don't start your career by lying on your resume. Just ignore him. Just ignore him. Honestly, job applications can lie to you. They can say that this is a position for something, and then when you finally get through the interview process, it's a completely different job. They can say the salary range on the job application, and then when you finally get the job offer, it can be completely below that range, and they could just completely lowball you and say, take it or leave it. And they've wasted your time. You've done all the interviews, the code tests, whatever it is. They can say that you'll have a mentor and you won't have a mentor. They can say that you'll be reviewed after 6 months and you won't be reviewed after 6 months. Job applications lie to potential employees all the time. So when employees lie on their resume, you're suddenly all mad about it. Like, just play the game. Just understand that there's a game and stop being like, work with your heart and soul. Like, come on, bro. This is the cringiest article like I've read in a very, very long time. Founder, CEO, techie, change maker. Bro, you like 16. Hey, everybody. Thanks to all your comments and suggestions. I understand that you're wondering if he really lied or not. Our CTO confirmed to me that he lied, so you don't actually know that he lied. If I talk more about it, you will understand, but I don't want to because I felt bad for him even after all of this, and I tried not to talk about him much in this article. Bro, you roasted him for the entire article. You said that he lied and couldn't do simple junior level programming tasks. Like, just be honest. But as many want to know, we didn't even disrespect him. What do I always get called? When I make these videos about companies in India, what do they say? I'm defaming them, right? Like, that's what you're doing. You're defaming him by telling him he's a liar and his programming skills suck. My whole point of this article is you shouldn't lie in the resume. Yeah, you should. 100%. Like, I'm just going to say it. Like, everybody does it. I mean, you're a liar if you say that you haven't lied in your resume. You know what I mean? So I tried to talk to him less about it, and thanks to all who suggested to improve my hiring process, we are working on that. It's time to retrospect your hiring process. Yup. There are many red flags in how you handle interviews that you really should think more about. Never should have been hired. Also, tests for hiring is stupid compared to a good discussion and a few technical questions. Exactly. See what I mean? Told him we had to let him go for some reason. What if you involved your CTO in the interviewing process? He would have discovered the lies right before hiring. I think that's what you did, right? You didn't do the hiring process because you do managerial work now, which apparently means writing Medium articles, roasting people that you fired. Good work. So essentially what I'm saying is lie on the resume and be honest in the interview, because you have a better chance at still getting the job if you can prove that you can do the job in the interview, because you can have a conversation in the interview. You don't get to have a conversation when someone is looking at your resume and you don't even know about it. They're making decisions about who you are as a person and what you can do, and you don't have any input on further explaining what's on your resume. Let's just be real. Lie on the resume, be honest in the interview. They're not going to run a background check on you until they give you the offer letter. So that's one of the things that people call me out on. Obviously, don't lie on the background check. They can find your education. They can see if you have a degree or not. They can see that stuff. But just tell them, I went to college, I didn't finish, but I'm missing XYZ. However, I don't think this reflects my ability to accurately and competently do the job duties as assigned. Like, just say something like that. Oh, this guy gets it. Work like you own the company. Unless I am making CEO salary with matching benefits package or I have equity in the company, I'm just there for a paycheck. Yeah, if you lie about something that you can't deliver, it's bad. If you lie about something that you haven't done but you know that you can do, then that's not bad. Oh, here we go. We got Honest Abe here. Joel Etherton, as part of the title says, just don't lie too much on your resume. No, don't lie ever on your resume. Your integrity is your most precious commodity, and even lying about something as small as your tenure with a company completely wrecks it. Never lie on a resume. How does this have 50 fucking claps? Joel, you're dumb. You're dumb. Do what it takes to get to the interview, and then be honest. I think that's respectable. Like, if someone gets to the interview and they're able to accurately explain a job gap that they wouldn't have otherwise had the time of day to do, I don't think that's wrong. You go ahead and be honest, Abe. I'm going to go feed my family. Only one comment so far has mentioned the other cringe things that he said, like work like you own the company, work with your heart and soul. No one's gonna. Everyone's just overlooking that. Whatever. I disagree with basically everything that you say in this article, Abrar, and I think that you probably shouldn't be a CEO, honestly. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, appreciate the roast. Do me a solid, click thumbs up, click subscribe if you want to see me tear apart other corporate garbage that everyone wants to virtue signal with. Leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. We're back real quick. I was looking at this dude's LinkedIn, by the way, and it's funny. This dude went for the University of Engineering Technology, and then he went straight to being a CEO. So he's talking about don't lie on your resume, and this dude never even had to submit a resume in his life. Are you serious?